When you talk to ChatGPT, do you feel that it remembers you, it listens to you, it understands you, and do you feel that it has something like a mind of itself? Lot of questions, right? Leave out that all questions. Suppose we write a prompt and enter, a process starts. Not a thought, not an understanding, just a pipeline. And this is what we discuss in today's episode of Truly AI. I am Dr. C.B. Abraham. Let us start with the pipeline. Consider this sentence. It says, AI will change how we work, but it will not decide why we work. This is the way we human beings process text. We take text as an idea or it as a concept, and this is not the way ChatGPT processes text. First of all, it splits the text into small compartments. This is the set of all tokens we have. Therefore, this is the first part of the pipeline. The prompt or text is converted to token. These are the tokens. Therefore, AI is a token, V is a token, work is a token, full stop is a token, etc. We have this collection of tokens. But ChatGPT doesn't take these tokens as they are. It converts these tokens into what are called vectors. Every token is converted to a vector. Such a vector is said to be an embedding. Therefore, as soon as the text is converted to tokens, ChatGPT takes them are tokens called embeddings. Therefore, embeddings are nothing but high dimensional vector representation, and we could be able to have the dimension ranging from say 1000 to more than 10,000 depending upon the model, and that way we could be able to have the respective embeddings. Therefore, the pipeline we have now has the prompt converted to tokens and tokens converted to embeddings. These are the embeddings. In order to make simple, let us consider the respective tokens. AI will change how we work. Therefore, this is the arrangement of tokens. AI will change how we work. Suppose we interchange the locations. Therefore, we have the sentence, we will change how AI work. The meaning has completely changed. Therefore, just by having the vector representation of the token cannot capture the order or position of the tokens. That is very much important in the case of language. And this is facilitated by something called a positional encoding. Let us have the original arrangement. AI will change how we work. In order to identify, AI is the first token. Suppose we are giving a number called 1, will comes to the second position, change comes the third position, and how come in the fourth, we fifth, and work. Therefore, corresponding to every token which is represented as embedding, we are providing the respective position also. Now suppose we change this, then correspondingly we could be able to see that since the position is there, it could be able to capture AI, respective embedding, and the position of that. Therefore, the rearrangement doesn't make any impact because we could be able to capture the vector representation as well as the position. In ChatGPT, these positions are not referred as like this numbers 1, 2, 3, but they will be vectors similar to embeddings having the same dimension. Therefore, the final vector will be the summation of embeddings and the positional encodings. Therefore, we will be able to have both the vector representation of the token as well as the position of each of the token in a vector format, both are combined, and that will be the refined embedding. Therefore, now the pipeline is prompt converted to tokens, tokens converted to embeddings and positional encodings. Consider the sentences: I don't have an Apple mobile. I ate an apple today, and he is apple of my eye. Look at the same word apple is repeating. Apple, mobile, apple, fruit, and apple, the affection. Then which apple we could be able to identify based on the context? For human beings, it comes quite natural. The context could be able to be easily identified. But for ChatGPT, things are difficult. In the case of such sentences, ChatGPT looks at the nearby words. For example, first sentence, apple. Mobile influences what apple is. Second sentence, 8 decides what apple is. I decides the next apple is the next sentence. Therefore, the context of the word in the nearby is important and corresponding. That would be able to give an idea about what exactly the word is. And this type of inferences could be able to be done by what is called attention. Therefore, here we look at what is attention mechanism and how we will be able to provide some weights corresponding to the attention. Look at the statement, we will change how we work. Remember, these are the embeddings, these are nothing but the tokens. We could be able to give some numeric value in order to give the context or the importance or influence of that. For example, we are giving a value of 0.3 to AI, and we are giving a value of say 0.1 to will, and 0.5 to change, 0.2 to how, and say 0.4 to we, and say 0.8 to work. Therefore, each of the word is given with some numeric value which gives the idea of the attention to be provided. Therefore, the respective words or the tokens represented as embeddings. The positions are identified corresponding to the positional encoding, and we are getting a combined vector as embeddings, and along with this attention weights, it could be able to give also the important, the nearby words based on the exact context or the meaning of the word could be able to be done. Now the pipeline looks like we have the prompt converted to tokens, converted to embeddings and positional encodings, and now we have this nothing but the attention weights. We have seen how the attention works and how the concept of attention help us to provide the context to each of the token or the words. Then the question comes, how far we need to consider this? Which are the tokens to be considered for providing the context? For that, ChatGPT uses the concept of context window. Consider a window something like this, and we keep the window something over here, somewhere over here. Therefore, this will be having the context only of AI, will, and change. Therefore, the context window says that only these tokens to be considered. Then we move the window, we will have the context will, change, how, again change the window, change, how, we, etc. That means as we change the window, the context also changes, and only the tokens which are within the window only to be considered. Therefore, by restricting the window and only the tokens within the window, we could be able to have the context of the tokens which will be influencing a token. Therefore, that way we could be able to pinpoint on the exact the context of each of the words based on the nearby tokens. The modern large language models will be having window size ranging from 1000 to more than 10,000, and correspondingly it could be able to capture that much of the context. Therefore, we have seen that the pipeline now prompt converted to token, converted to embeddings and positional encoding, then converted to attention and the context window. These are the tokens. Remember, these are embeddings involving the vector representation and the position encoding, and also it has the attention weights to decide what are the important nearby tokens, and also it has the windowing in order to see which are the tokens which is considering to be influenced. Then our most important question comes, what is the next token? AI will change how we. What is the next possible token to be considered? And that is what the ChatGPT does each time corresponding to a prompt. One token is given, one word is given one at a time, and correspondingly the respective sentence, paragraph, story is made. Then based on the previous training and corresponding the occurrence of these tokens within this window, context window, ChatGPT will be having a probability for each of the possible tokens. Therefore, let us consider this example. Then corresponding to the tokens provided with a probability, suppose it has a probability of 0.3, but has a probability of 0.2, but has a probability 0.8, decide 0.4 and not 0.1, some probability value. Then go through these values and identify the token having the highest probability. We go through it, and highest value is provided by work, and that is predicted as the next word. Therefore, ChatGPT could be able to predict the next word as work after AI will change how we work based on the probability. Obviously, the next word, the context window, the context window will be now full. AI will change how we work, and correspondingly it will be able to look at the token having the highest probability, and that will be predicted as the next word. In this way, one word, one token at a time is predicted, and correspondingly the full sentence, full paragraph, full story is given to us by ChatGPT. Therefore, the pipeline looks like prompt converted to token, converted to embeddings and positional encoding, and later we have the attention weights, then context window, and now we have the prediction of each of the token one at a time. This is the original text we had, and we have seen that how ChatGPT could be able to convert this text into small intermediary steps, and through this pipeline it could be able to predict the next word. Obviously, the next word appear as an embedding, and which will be converted to a text, and this is the beautiful pipeline of predicting the next word based on the context of the words appearing corresponding to our prompt. ChatGPT didn't think much, ChatGPT did not listen, and ChatGPT doesn't have a mind, it just followed a pipeline. The beautiful responses provided by ChatGPT is based on this pipeline. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this, please like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video. Until then, truly AI.